that it is a massive.
It's huge.
It's huge. It's the icons. All
Yes.
the icons are coming to pay tribute.
And there you have it. That, of course, Sharon Osbourne, wife and some would say ruthless manager of Ozzy Osbourne, along with Tony Iommi, the ultimate heavy metal riff master, guitarist of Black Sabbath since day one, announcing what is being billed as the farewell concert featuring all 4 original members of Black Sabbath. Now, I've been a Black Sabbath fan for most of my life. I can still remember buying my first Sabbath album at a flea market. I probably spent, a quarter or 50 cents for the thing, which wasn't inconsequential for a kid back in those days. But here it is, kind of an unlikely one to start with, but still one of my favorite Sabbath albums of all time. But as a Sabbath fan, I have mixed feelings about this, and I want to talk about them. And as usual, I would love to hear what you guys think. If you're a Sabbath fan, do you think this is a good thing, or do you think this is all just getting a little bit pathetic? The fact is, here in 2025, what we might call classic rock and roll is entering uncharted territory. The first wave of rockers, all your Elvises and Chuck Berrys, are pretty much gone. The British invasion types, McCartney, Jagger, and Richards, are now well into their 80s. The Who's Pete Townsend is going to be 80 later this year. Osbourne and the guys in Sabbath are now in their late 70s. Now, pure age alone is certainly not a disqualifying factor. I mean, look at Jagger. The guy runs around the stage in a way that would put most 20-year-olds to shame. And in terms of the band Black Sabbath itself, you just saw Tony Iommi there sitting next to Sharon. The guy is sharp. He's in great shape. He's playing as good as ever. I would also argue that Sabbath's bass player, Geezer Butler, is in fine form. I see no reason why he can't handle his gig perfectly. But the elephant in the room here is, of course, Sabbath's lead singer, Ozzy Osbourne. First of all, it's no secret the guy abused himself horribly over the years with decades of drug and alcohol abuse. But things got much worse in 2003. First, there was an ATV accident. The ATV rolled over on top of Ozzy. This has necessitated 4 spinal surgeries, stem cell treatments. But worst of all, also in 2003, Osbourne was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
20 years into his Parkinson's diagnosis, the rocker revealing on his SiriusXM radio show, "I can't walk, but I'm still alive."
I'm just at the point that I've experienced it all.
Ozzy's longtime love, Sharon Osbourne, explaining to The Sun this week, Parkinson's is not something you can stabilize. And now it's affected his legs. But his voice is as good as it's ever been.
So there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth. Ozzy Osbourne cannot walk. I don't know exactly how they're going to deal with this at the concert. I suspect he'll be up there in a chair of some kind. Knowing Ozzy, they'll probably construct an elaborate throne for him to sit in. I guess this kind of thing has been done before. Axl Rose had an injury, and I remember seeing him up there in a chair. I believe Dave Grohl has done it as well. By the way, as much as many of us love Ozzy, I think most would have to admit that Sharon's assertion about his voice being as good as it's ever been is a bit overly optimistic. Another possible wild card here, I think, is drummer Bill Ward. Now, he's a phenomenal drummer. I love the fact that he's on board for this. But he's also had plenty of problems over the years that have forced him to be absent from Sabbath projects. He's had substance abuse, physical and mental health issues. I assume he's good to go, but we'll see. Be all that as it may, as it stands right now, Black Sabbath's final concert, I put that in quotes because how many times have we heard that over the last decade or so, will take place at Villa Park in Birmingham, England, Sabbath's hometown and the home of the local football team, on July 5th. The venue holds around 42,000. Tickets go on sale on Valentine's Day and apparently will go for as much as £795. So not cheap as you would expect, and who knows what they'll end up going for on the secondary markets. By the way, even if you're skeptical as to whether Sabbath will be on the top of their game here, there will be plenty of other classic metal and hard rock acts to enjoy. Groups like Metallica, Slayer, Alice in Chains. Apparently there's also going to be some sort of all-star jam run by Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. Billy Corgan's going to be there, Fred Durst, many others. Personally, I generally find those all-star jams to be a bit underwhelming, but I'm sure some people will be happy to see that. So once again, let me know what you guys think. I know I've got some viewers in that part of the world. Is this something you would consider going to? There's a part of me that loves the fact that there's still a Black Sabbath concert upcoming in the year 2025. But personally, I'd rather stay home, fire up Sabbath's 1970 Paris concert, and remember what it was that made this band so special in the first place and why we're still talking about them all these years later. Thanks a lot. See you soon.